Good morning.
Hi, Natasha. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Denny's at an airport, so he just
Yeah,
asked me to help out.
I figured he was somewhere like that. It looked
So
like in the background.
I'm gonna try to let people in. I just gotta make sure. I never do meetings where you are the host and have to let people in. So
Yeah.
hopefully I don't mess that up.
I used to do it all the time. I pay for the extra Zoom, but I just don't have as many meetings anymore because I'm not doing what
You
I was
know,
doing
I was
before.
paying for it during the pandemic and it made sense, but now
Yeah. I hate that it only gives you 45 minutes if you don't pay for it. So I was like,
it's only 45 minutes though if you have more than one person or two people.
oh, really?
So yeah, if it's just one person, it doesn't run out. It's just it was to keep people from having group meetings
Yeah.
um without the paid service. But yeah, the free one, if it's just a one-on-one.
Yeah.
But where I ran into an issue is I had a husband and wife, like why I ended up paying for it before was I had a husband and wife and they were logged in from different locations, and then the 45-minute thing popped up.
Ah.
And I was like, all right, I don't want that happening when I'm doing a buyer consultation. So but
Yeah.
I haven't done any on Zoom in so long. I haven't even worried about paying.
I know I don't do it anymore. I during the pandemic I was a Pampered Chef director and I had like 30 people on my team. So we had regular like team meetings. Pampered Chef is like you sell a lot of kitchen stuff that's been around for 45 years, lifetime warranty pans, different stuff like that. I do live demos on the Zoom, showing them how to use the products and stuff like that.
Yeah, so you needed it for that.
Yeah, but I don't do that anymore. Or I do trainings and stuff with my team. Have team
Looking
meetings.
good there, Denny.
Let me know if the background noise is too much, because right now I would have to walk out to my car. I'll miss half the role play. So if you've got it covered, I might do that. So I just want to make sure everybody gets in.
It looks good. Wait here for a minute. I'm just going to go use the restroom real quick, and then I'll come right back.
Okay.
And then you can roll out to your car if you need to. But right now, it sounds good. I'll just be right back.
So here we go. If you guys would please go in and change your name. I don't know why. One day we'll figure it out. Why it always makes your name defaults to Sherry. And I do like Frankie Valli, but we don't have to have everybody Sherry. We have Ryan in the house. Is that really Ryan? Oh my God.
I was muted. How are you doing?
Of his things to do, he must be out of everything, including sharpening and polishing his paper.
I lost a bet. If you want to know the truth,
What bet?
I'm just saying. That's why I have to be on. I'm just kidding.
This is your penalty.
This is my penalty. No, I love your role plays. They're all absolutely amazing, Denny.
Whatever.
No, that's why I'm here, because they're amazing. How have you been?
Been doing good. I just landed. I taught bowls in Tucson yesterday. I just got back to Fort Myers, and the plane was late. That's why I'm not set up in my studio, which I intended to be. However, I've got Jeff Pennington going to pinch it for me, and I know I've got a lot of people on here that can help out. So I apologize in advance for the background noise.
Awesome.
So I hear good things about the ISA. When are you going to expand and let me have part of that? Part of it?
Tomorrow?
Okay.
I was thinking about that because I have a whole bunch of leads already over in Florida, and I got nobody to give them to. We should talk. We need to talk. We need to talk.
Okay, if you guys are here, I've got a Jeff Pennington, who is probably one of my first disciples, and he left Jesus and formed his own tribe. And I asked him to pinch hit because I was on a plane, and he's going to be the co-host. John is with his kids in a soccer tournament somewhere in Charleston or some crazy place like that. So we will make the best of it. I'm standing in an airport. You'll hear a lot of crap behind me, and it's good to see some familiar faces. I have to say something to Kevin. Kevin, for you guys that don't know this, Keller Williams started something in the morning. I'll just remind you guys, if you want the link, I will email it out to you. It's open to everybody, not just Keller Williams. It's called Recon. So we do 30 minutes of what we're doing now nationwide from 9:30 to 10 o'clock Eastern, 8:30 to 9 o'clock Central. You guys do the math, right? So if you want that, just let us know. Just watch your email. If you've got the link to this, I'll send you out. It's called a Recon. And you guys, I can tell you, I'm 100% convinced. And I'll tell you what, at 1 o'clock, I got another minute. I'm going to give you my thought of the day. And then we'll go into some role plays. If you have a conversation or something you want, if you want to talk about, go ahead and put it in the chat. And I might have to mute some. And I don't know if I can do most of the talking. So Jeff, get ready to take over. I'll do my best to give you the thought of the day because I had an aha.
Hey, honey, yeah. Hey, I need the ID again. I don't have a piece of paper. Just hold on. Give me 1 second. Zoom. I got to find Zoom. I'm just trying to find it, baby. The Zoom. Can you give me the meeting ID, please?
It's 873
873
6353
6353
Kevin,
7072.
Kevin.
Is that good? Okay.
Hey, Kevin, can you hear us?
Kevin, mute Kevin.
The rest of it?
I'm muting. I got to mute you.
Okay,
no, I need the number. Can you give me the number again?
Jeff, your co-host. Can you mute?
No,
Kevin?
just give me the number again.
I'm clicking on his name, but it doesn't give me the option.
I got it, I think. All right,
I don't see how to let anybody in either, Denny.
So you have me as co-host. I've been admitting everybody in. You got to make Jeff as co-host.
All right, I got it.
Oh, there we go. All right. Well, Natasha can mute people then.
Okay, you're now host, Kevin. I mean, Jeff.
Okay, perfect. All right. So I already threw something in the chat, Denny. I think one of the biggest objections we've had in the last month was with buyers. They still think the market's kind of unpredictable. Prices might go down. Rates are too high. Once you start having conversations with them and educating them, we realize that's not the case. And they're open to conversations, but that seems to be what I'm hearing from a lot of agents that work with buyers is buyers are still on the fence. Just to throw a topic out, you're muted, Denny.
Yeah, well, go ahead and have that role play. You've got some heavy hitters here like Ryan Lowry, etc. So have that conversation. I'm going to exit the terminal and get to my car. It'll be a little quieter. So I'll be back with you in about 10 minutes.
All right, you want to give us your thought of the day before you roll?
Okay, thought of the day is this. Okay, they asked me to speak at Family Reunion, which is a Keller Williams event on lead generation. And people have been asking me all over the place, what is the best conversation, the best script? We don't use script much anymore. What's the best thing to use? It's like, here's what I want you to write down. I might have mentioned it last week. However, I want you to write it down. Forget the new. Forget the NEW. Work on the DO. You got to work on the do. You guys already know enough to have massive success if you would just perfect what you already know. So what I mean by that is this, and somebody said this in the last week or 10 days, which is just kind of a lightning bolt to me. Real estate is about the majority of our work. If you want to grow your business, the majority of our day is finding business, not doing business. So I'm going to stop a minute and let you absorb that. If you think real estate, you get to a point where you can do business all the time without finding it. I want you to watch Animal Planet. all of those great big animals and all the things you see, the beauty of nature, what do they spend most of their day doing? Finding food.
Right.
And the ones that don't, what happens to them? They become food or they starve. Welcome to real estate. Do you hear me, folks?
That's a great thought, Denny. I appreciate that.
So, Jeff, take it over. I'll be back in a little bit.
All right, you got it. Did everybody kind of get what Denny was talking about? And could one person kind of raise their hand and jump on and explain that a little more, what his thought of the day was?
It's all about lead gen.
That's right. It's about, it's about hunting for business. At the end of the day, we all want to sell houses, but if we're not hunting for business, we're not going to have any business. That's just the reality. And so the conversations you have with people determine whether or not you're going to take them to the next level. And so having great conversations every day while you're hunting for business, and then knowing what to talk about. And then when they throw up objections, knowing how to overcome the objection. So let's go into that. We'll just start it with, while we're waiting for Denny, we'll start it with, the buyer objections we're getting right now. So the ones that I've seen are mostly, the market's crazy. I think prices are still going to go down or rates are too high. So let's start with that. And Kevin, I know you're a pro in this. Why don't you kind of go first on this, Kevin? Using the model that Denny teaches of objection handling.
Which Kevin?
Kevin Dolan.
I'm okay. I'm pretty much a novice, so I'll be happy to try.
You just look like an expert with that San Francisco bridge in the background.
Yeah. So I guess it'd be acknowledge, isolate, which is unload and pack, address and close.
That's right.
Just go into nuance.
So the model is, for everyone that's new here, hasn't been joining us in the past, the model is whenever someone gives you an objection, the first thing you do is isolate it. And then you kind of unpack and make sure that is the actual objection. So you acknowledge it, and then you isolate it and unpack it. And so let's use that model, Kevin, and have you respond to me as a buyer. We're a potential buyer. I'm someone in your SOI. We're chatting at a party. And I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about buying a house this year, but rates are really just too high. And I think prices might still go down. Oh, did we lose Kevin? All right. Well, Kevin disappeared. Who else would? Oh, you back, Kevin?
I was on mute. My apologies.
All right. So we're at a party, and I'm like, Kevin, I've thought about buying this year, but with rates so high, I just think prices are still going to go down. I want to wait till prices get better.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I think everyone does. Other than that, what else would you be waiting for other than prices to go down?
Well, I mean, I think rates are really high, and it's going to make my payment higher.
So, is there anything else other than that?
No, I just don't want to. I really think it's just with the high rates. I feel like I'm going to pay too much, and I want to wait till prices drop more.
What about the rates that are bothering you? Are they just too high?
Yeah, I saw like they were like 7%. And it just seems like, you're going to pay twice as much for your mortgage payment and lots of interest. And I don't want to overpay for a house.
And what would you be comfortable with at interest rate?
I don't know exactly what rate I'd be comfortable with. I just feel like I want to make sure that I, get a good deal and can afford the payment. All right, Kevin froze on us. All right, but so you see, so Kevin, what you did, you're muted and you froze for a minute. You know,
I'm with you, but I'm not with you. So
okay.
Again, I'll just.
So you're isolating. You notice how he acknowledged the objection, and then now I'm not sure I would say I agree with you. I don't know if I would say it that way. Like, you know, rates are like, I might phrase that a little differently. Like, I understand a lot of people have felt like rates are too high right now. What they found is with a lot of the great programs we have out there, you can actually fit this into your budget. Other than the interest rates being higher than you like, is there any other reason you wouldn't want to buy a house this year? So that's where you're unpacking and you're and unpacking is we're not just handling that objection. We're finding out if there's really something else that's underlying. So that's where we are right now. You've asked me, you've isolated the objection. So let's go from there, Kevin.
And you're not sure which rate you would like. You would just like a lower rate.
Yeah. Now, remember, I just said rates aren't really, it's more about I want to make sure I have a good deal. I don't want to overpay. Yeah. So I don't really know what a good rate is necessarily. So here's where you flip it. So, and I'll help out a little bit.
Okay.
Here's where you flip it to. Here's where you kind of flip it back to them and say, well, if I could show you how we could get you a better rate and fit this into your budget, would you be willing to sit down and talk about buying a home this year? This is where you're overcoming the objection, without actually going into how you're going to overcome it. We're going for the appointment. All right. So let's try it again from the beginning, Kevin. Okay. And so, Kevin, I really just decided probably this is not a great year to buy a house. I know rates are really crazy high and I don't want to pay too much.
I understand that. And what about paying too much? What are you objecting to?
Well, I just feel like with the higher rates, I'm going to pay a lot more for my mortgage payment, and I don't want to overpay. I want on my budget.
I understand that. Right now, are you renting or do you own a property?
I'm renting right now.
Okay. So, what would be a price that you would be good with purchasing a house?
Okay, so Kevin, let's stop there. So, what do we need to do first?
Acknowledge, isolate.
So we're not. We haven't isolated. We haven't really fully isolated yet. You're starting to go into kind of objection handling, but we haven't fully isolated with the. Remember, we always use the other than.
That. So let me ask you a question. When you are getting objections, you're acknowledging. You keep acknowledging. I'm not writing anything down. I don't have a pen with me. But if I should write things down and then. Go once I isolate it, then go into once I acknowledge it and I isolate, I should be able to go into each one individually, one right after another. Am I correct?
Right. But we're not specifically trying to we're trying to use the model to get the appointment. So we don't want to try to go too deep into trying to overcome an objection. Until we specifically know what the objection really is, what their pain point is. Then we build on there.
So other than that, so we have the first. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So hi Jeff. This is Kevin. How are you doing today?
Yeah, good, Kevin. It's good seeing you again. I'm doing well, thank you.
Good, and I understand you're looking to buy a house.
Yeah, when we talked last year, I was thinking about buying this year, but I feel like rates are really crazy high, and I don't think I want to pursue that right now until things calm down a little bit.
And other than the rates, what else other than that, what other things would you be waiting for besides the rates?
Okay, so let's just time out right there. So remember, I completely understand. So the rates are concerning you. Yeah. Other than the interest rates, is there any other reason you wouldn't want to move forward in the house this year?
Good. Other than that, is there any other reason that you wouldn't want to go forward that would prevent you from going forward?
No, I just don't want to overpay, and I just want to make sure that I stay within my budget, and I feel like it's gotten more expensive to buy a house right now.
I get that, and other than overpaying, other than that, than overpaying, is there anything else that would stop you from moving forward?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so what might, I'm going to throw something in. I'm not sure if it fits, but just of the two objections you have, which one's the most important to you? Overpaying or the interest rates?
Well, I think they go hand in hand. The higher rate means I might be paying too much on a monthly basis. So I just don't want to pay too much per month for a house.
And so, what price would you feel good about purchasing a house at?
All right. So remember, I threw you a softball. So it was kind of like my budget. So I think where I would follow up there with is, so what I'm hearing, Jeff, is your budget is what's important to you.
Got it.
All right. So think about that. So
other than that, Jeff, what I'm hearing from you is that your budget is a sore point with, or how would you put it?
Important. Your budget is what's important to you.
Yeah, okay. Your budget's what's your pivotal point. What's most important to you.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so. I mean, I think that's what I'm concerned about, because I just don't want to overpay too much every month for a house.
I understand that. So if we could find a way to fit within your budget, you wanted to move ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, if we had a way, I might. I mean, if it was going to fit my budget, I might be open to it.
And I think you spoke earlier, and you said that you are renting now.
I am renting now.
Okay, so do you have an idea of where you want to move? What you want to move to, and what type of house you want to purchase?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to be in a townhouse, in the Kingstown area of Alexandria, to kind of keep my kid in the same school zone.
Good. And what price do you put on a house? Are you going by the listing price, or how?
Okay, so we're just going to stop there, because right now we're just working on the model.
Yeah.
And you're going into a long conversation, which is really what the appointment is for. So the short answer, let me just give you, we're going to stop it there, Kevin, but let me give you the short answer.
Yeah.
What I would have done there was said, Jeff, it looks like, your budget's what concerns you. Other than that, is there any other reason you wouldn't want to move forward? And it's no, I mean, it's really, I just want to make sure that it's affordable. And I know with the higher rates, the payment's going to be higher. Well, we have a lot of programs to help fit this into most anybody's budget. If I could show you some programs that could make this fit your budget, would you be willing to consider purchasing a house? At that point, I say yes. Then all you're doing is closing for the appointment. So that's fantastic. I tell you what, how about we schedule a call next week? Is Tuesday or Wednesday better for you? And we'll kind of go through some options we have to fit this in your budget. So we're not trying to go into a long figure out how you can help. We're just trying to understand, isolate, acknowledge the objection, isolate it, kind of overcome it from the perspective of getting the next step.
Yes, there's an interesting gap between hearing you and hearing Denny and John and understanding it, and then actually being able to utilize it. When I first started taking the classes, I didn't understand any of it, and then I slowly learned more and more and more. But now it gets to utilizing it. There's a big difference for me.
Yeah, we're keeping it really basic right now, because I'm just kind of filling in for Denny while he gets to his car. So I don't want to go in. I don't want to go in too much, but it's just using the basic model to look at, how to overcome an objection. So
good.
All right. So who else here would like to try to tackle that? Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate it.
I appreciate it, Jeffrey. Thank you.
Sherry,
go for it.
Sherry's raised her hand. If you could, everybody else mute yourself. Okay, Sherry. So do you know the model, Sherry? Sherry, can you hear me, Sherry? Oh, you just muted yourself, Sherry.
I think a bunch of people are in as Sherry because that was the host administrator.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sherry,
they have to
If you
change
want
their
me to go,
name.
I can jump in here on this.
Okay, is that Ryan?
Yep.
All right, Ryan. So do you know the model?
Oh yeah, we train this model. This is what our team does. So
All right, great. So you met me at a party, you know me, and you're bringing up that whole thing of me buying a house this year.
Cool, Jeff. So you're looking at buying a home right now? We'll just jump right into it.
Yeah, Ryan, I thought about it, but the rates are so crazy right now, and I just don't want to overpay. I think I'm going to wait and see if prices and rates come down later this year.
So you're concerned about the interest rates?
Yeah, well, I think in general, I think prices have been really high and they might drop some more. And if rates and prices drop, I'm going to be able to afford a lot more home and get what I want.
So other than rates and prices, is there anything else that has you concerned or keeping you from buying a home right now?
At this point, I think that's really it.
Okay. So let me ask you about, because you said two different things, rates and prices. Let me ask you, what are you concerned about prices?
Well, mainly, I don't want to. I want to be able to get the house that I like and be able to afford it. I want to be able to pay for it monthly, and with higher rates and higher prices, I'm afraid that it's going to cost me too much to buy the house I really want.
So it sounds like money's important to you.
It is.
Perfect. So if I could find a way to help you get the price that you want at the rate that you want, would you be willing to move forward?
I'd certainly be open to a conversation if there was a way to get a house that I like that fits my budget.
Perfect. Well, we could do that. So what's Thursday next week look like for you?
Thursday, I'm in an all-day meeting. I could maybe, I'm free after 4.
4? Okay. Let's get together at 4:30 and I'll bring all the information to show you how we can do that. You're way too easy, Jeff.
All right, perfect. Well, and I want to keep it simple right now because again, we got some new people on here and I wanted to show someone the model. Now you did a perfect job with the model, Ryan.
I would say that the biggest thing that he asked the question on with this model is make him say uncle. So if I would have said other than that, and he gave me 10 more things, I would have gone until he said, nope, that's it.
That's right. And we're going to do that next. So, and since you're ready to go, we'll let you do it, Ryan, but I'll let someone else be the buyer. And thank you, Sherry, for posting that. Acknowledge, isolate. Now, when you isolate, you unpack. That's where you make sure you've actually found the true objection. So you don't so isolating is finding what is their real thing that's stopping them. And it might take 3 or 4 times of asking and isolating. So you isolate, then you address it. And then the close is getting that meeting or getting to the next step. So, we're at a party, so we're not going to be pulling out the buyer agreement and signing them up at the spot. We're going to be trying to set that meeting. So whatever the buyer puts the scenario, that's how we're going to handle this. So Ryan's going to be the agent. Who would like to be the buyer that's going to throw the objection at him?
I'm still the agent? Okay, let's do this.
You're the agent, but we need a buyer for you. Who wants to be Ryan's?
I want 3 objections.
I'll be the buyer so I can learn.
Who's being the buyer?
Neil.
Okay, Neil, remember he wants 3
I see
objections.
it. All right.
So Neil, after he isolates one, I want you to throw a different reason. So kind of take them through 2 or 3 reasons why, as opposed to just agreeing on the first one. Make sure you give them a couple other reasons why you're not ready to buy yet. So
okay,
you guys go for it. I'm going to mute myself.
Hey Neil, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good.
It's good to see you here. I hear you might be thinking about purchasing a home or moving or doing something in real estate.
Yeah, we were thinking about it, but the market is really crazy right now, so we kind of put that on the back burner.
Market's crazy?
Yeah, I mean prices are up, interest rates moved way up. I'm thinking I'll do a better everybody says it's going to fall. So I'm just kind of waiting.
So let me ask you. So you're saying you're going to wait because of prices or interest rates?
Well, both. I mean,
Okay.
prices are coming back down. That's what I hear. And at
All right.
these rates, I really don't see how I can afford it.
So other than price, is there anything else keeping you moving forward?
Well, like I said, no, the rates are still high as well.
Okay.
They're like 7. I mean, rates a couple months ago last year were like 3. I mean, they're double.
Yeah, I hear you. You're concerned about the rates. Other than prices and rates, is there anything else keeping you from moving forward?
I'm also concerned about how much it's going to cost me in terms of a down payment.
Yeah, that's important. Down payment is definitely important. So, you know, other than that, is there anything else keeping you from buying a home today?
I just want to see what happens and see where it comes back to a realistic market so I can jump in.
Okay. So sounds like, let me just make sure I'm hearing you, Neil. So it really does sound like it's just price, interest rates, and down payment. If I could show you a way or a model that we use as a team every single day to address those 3 items, basically getting you the best price for a home, helping you get a lower interest rate, and helping, you know, finding a way to do your down payment or what the right price is, would you be interested in learning more about that?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay. Well, I have availability next week. What's your week look like? I'd love to get together with you, maybe go to lunch or grab a coffee or something. What are you looking at?
We could probably do Wednesday. We could grab lunch Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday. All right. Let's do Wednesday at 12 o'clock and I'm buying. So we'll see you then.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Great job, Ryan and Neil. And Denny's here again with us. So Ryan, how did you feel about that? How did you feel about how you addressed everything?
I mean, it was good. He was a little scattered on his things, but that's why you just start isolating them until you make him say uncle. Once you say other than that and he says, no, that's it. That's the green light to go. I picture it like a land, like a whole bunch of landmines out there across the field. If you don't get them all isolated and you just jump on the first one, you go running across that field, you're going to hit another one. So you have to identify them all before you go.
Yeah, that's the unpacking. Denny's coming back from his trip and he's got to unpack his car, you know, when he gets home and then unpack his luggage. So Neil,
it's unload and unpack.
Unload and unpack. Yes, you're right.
The unloading.
Unload first and then unpack. So Neil, how did that feel for you as the buyer?
Well, he kept going, okay, other than, so at some point you're going to run out of excuses because he kept addressing whatever it is that you brought up and said, okay, is there anything else just to get to, so yeah, it made you think, okay, is there anything else that's holding me back really?
Gotcha. Okay, great. And now, Denny, did you hear the whole thing or did you jump on at the end of that one?
I was at the end, so I assume basically Ryan was making an outbound call. Was that it?
No, they met at a party. They saw each other at a party or whatever, and he had mentioned to him last year. The scenario we set up was they had mentioned last year they were thinking about buying a house this year. He runs into him. Now we're having the conversation, and he's telling him why he wants to wait. So that was the scenario that we put together. Could be a call, works the same way.
Right. So we talked about him, and my thought of the day was you have to learn how to hunt for food. Then you hunt for business, you do business. So Ryan is mastered the art of the bullseye, so he knows how to hunt for it, and that's a whole different skill that we all can learn and to get the appointment. So if we can, and I don't know what you want to do next, Jeff. I'll just be the co-host here. Is that all right? So sometimes when you get the appointment. And some of you guys might be good at getting the appointment and you fail at the table. I have a feeling most people don't find the game to shoot, and so they never get to the table. Let's just assume, Brian, you got to the table. You've got to be able to have a game, no pun intended there, when you get to the table. And that's what we do when we have a listening or question-based listening enhanced conversation. So Jeff, would you want to do a conversation there, maybe even continue with Ryan, not his whole presentation. However, let's see how he would handle, and I can be the buyer. Let's see how he handles an objection. Now, this is Friday. You guys, I don't know if you play chess. I play a chess app. It's chess.com, and they have a puzzle of the day. And it gets harder as the week goes on. So Ryan being a chess master, quote unquote, I can be difficult for you, Ryan, yet rational. You want to do it?
Yeah, you guys do that. And Ryan did a great job of showing someone how to use the model. So we had a couple new people on here, and I want to make sure they got to see that. So thank you.
Let's do it. But I'll tell you, Ryan's really good at picking up listings because that's what I go after.
I'll be a seller then.
All right, be a seller. Now I'm in my wheelhouse. Let's go.
All right, so he wants to stay comfortable. Okay, Ryan, this is Friday.
That's fine. We can do.
That's really a Monday issue. All right, so I'm a seller, and you know what? I'll start with, and I heard this earlier today on when we did a recon. Ryan, it's I appreciate you coming by. I was curious about the value. I just think it's a bad time to sell.
It's a bad time to sell?
Yeah.
Okay, why do you think it's a bad time to sell?
And Jeff, if you can time 4 minutes, that'd be great. Well, I don't think the buyers are out there. I could have gotten more for my property in Easter. Interest rates are up. So I think I hear prices are falling. So, if you're going to sell gold, you want to sell high, right?
So it sounds like money's important to you. Is that correct?
Well, I didn't say money. It's probably more, I don't want to be stupid. And so I'm playing this. Money's important, but I would feel foolish to sell now when I could have sold for more in Easter. And it's not about the money. It's about the principle to me.
Okay. Other than that, is there anything else that's keeping you from listing or selling your home right now?
That's called isolation.
I know.
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay. So let me ask you this. You said money's not important. That's not the main thing. Obviously, you want to make as much money as you can, but you don't want to feel stupid. So what would it take for you to feel smart in selling your home right now?
Well, they always say sell high, buy low. I want to sell high.
You want to sell
right
high.
Now, based on the information you gave me, you're saying I get $650 for my house. I think I could have got $725, $750 at Easter, right? And I don't think you dispute that.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Denny. Oh, now I got a clock on me. All right, we'll just jump right into it, Denny. So if you could sell your home for, well, let me just ask you, what price do you want to sell your home for right now that would make you feel smart?
Well, $750 was the top. However, it definitely has to have a 7 in it, and the higher, and if it starts with a 7, I may be game.
Okay, so if I could show you a way to get top dollar for your home, and it starts with a 7, then you would feel smart.
Yes,
that's easy.
Why is it easy?
Well, because I've pulled up all the information right here, and I can tell you that your home is within that price range.
No, it's not. You just went over the past sales and you're suggesting $650.
Oh, okay. So let me ask you this, Denny. If you were to sell this home and instead of getting $650, the value of the home because you waited is now $550, how would you feel?
No, wait. All right. So you're taking it. Well, I wouldn't sell.
You wouldn't sell. How long are you willing to hold on to that home?
Well, I don't need to sell. I mean, it's just a little bit too big for us, but and I'd like to get a newer house, and I'd like to have like a pool. I want to have a game room. However, it's not that big a deal. I can go to 8-Ball Lounge and play pool.
So, Danny, do you feel like the market's working for you or against you right now?
Well, I think it's working against me because in Easter we could have got more money, right?
Yeah. So every month you wait, you're losing money. Is that correct?
Well, I didn't really want you to say that. Now I feel depressed. I feel stupid again.
Well, let's instead of feeling stupid, let's do the smart thing and sell it while it's worth its most, not while it's going down in price.
So what's the time there, Jeff? That feels like about 3.3.
I got 45 seconds.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to sell it low. I mean, if you can get me something with a 7 in front of it, I'm all in, baby.
Okay. Well, the last time people waited to sell their home, they were waiting for 10 years. So I will do this instead of putting 7 in front of it. I will guarantee you that we'll get you the highest price it's worth, because the market's going to let us know what that is. That is hard when I have a timer up here, you guys.
Well, what's interesting, I'm glad you said that. When you go in a listing presentation, there's not a timer, although I just want you to know every person has their attention span. Like when you go to church, it's about 3.5 seconds. When you're watching Top Gun, it may be 3 hours. However, it's like, although there's never a timer on a listing presentation, you know that there is a timer. So if you had more time, where would you go?
I'd find out motivation more.
Okay.
Because you're not telling me the right motivation.
Well, you haven't dug there yet. So
nope.
So that's clear. All right. So Jeff, you're in control here. So where do you want to go from there? Anybody have a comment about that? And one thing I do want to say, and I wasn't trying to be difficult. When I said I felt bad because I missed the top of the market, he went automatically to money. I went to principle. Understand, it's not always about the dollar.
Yep.
Yep. And I think Denny, what I'd like to do is continue this where he goes and digs into motive. So kind of get to the point, and then let's show how you dig into the motivation, because that's what I was thinking right there when you were trying to figure out, Ryan, what to do, because it is hard, and he's going one way and you're going the other, and you're not on the same page. I think right there is where finding out what your plans are, where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, and figuring out if that's more important than ultimately the price you sell your house for.
That's right. And so, all right, so this goes back to my era when I used to travel back and forth on I-75. We would stay at hotels that had vibrating beds. Okay, so you got to put in a quarter. How much time does he get?
He gets 2 minutes.
All right, there you go. We got 2 minutes, Ryan.
So, Danny, let me ask you this: if we found the price that has a 7 in front of it, what would that mean, or why are you selling your home?
Well, I said I don't need to sell it. However, we'd like to, downsize a little bit. I like the newer construction with hurricane windows, and I really would like one of those homes with a bonus room that I could, I have my bourbon bar and my pool table. So that's what I would look for.
Okay, so okay. Man, you're all over the place. All right.
I am not.
Yes, you are. You want your bourbon bar? You want your pool table? Okay, so let me ask you this.
I said that before. That's the same thing. I just told you bourbon bar. I told you I wanted a game room.
You want a game room. So if you could sell this home and find a game room, that's important to you?
Well, that's why we're moving. However, what I need is to feel like I wasn't a nincompoop, because I got to save face with my wife. Now I'm giving you a clue.
Yeah, that's a big clue.
She told me to sell in Easter. We could have got 7. I'm attempting to save face.
So what would that look like if the market continued to went down and you had to face your wife? Let's just dig into that. Let's throw salt in there.
Ask me another question.
45 seconds.
Well, here again, I'm leading you a little bit. Ask me if my wife wants to sell.
Does your wife want to sell?
No.
Okay. What would make your wife want to sell?
Well, it's me that wants the game room. Now, I'm only stopping. We don't need any more time because Ryan knows how to do this. I'm only stopping to let you guys know if you're running into like some things that just aren't putting things together. There's something that we don't know. And sometimes it's the silent one. Like if one of them doesn't want to move and it doesn't, when you look at this and Ryan is attempting to grab a hold of me and it's a little bit slippery.
Yep.
There's a piece missing.
There's a piece missing. The motivations.
Make sure the motivation is the same for both parties, because if I want the game room and my wife is happy there because it's close to the grandkids, you see what the issue is.
Yep.
So Denny, that brings up a great point, and Ryan, I think he definitely, had you stuck a little bit, which was interesting, but it brings up a great point. What I saw right there, that's to looking at your spouse, that's a perfect opportunity to maybe say, well, Denny, it sounds like you're not living in your dream home, and having that bourbon bar and that pool table and being able to hang out with your friends and enjoy that would be important to you. Is your wife currently living in her dream home?
Oh, well, okay. So if she's there, that would be a question to the wife, right?
Yeah, but I might ask you, because you might have some insight. Well, do you think your wife's living in her dream home? And you might be like, well, there are a few things she would like or something. I mean, you might be able to dig a little bit, even though she's not there, and understand what does your wife love about the house? Why does she want to stay there? Does it meet everything that she's looking for? That's kind of the path I might take.
Right.
So I would say also too, asking questions. Do you guys know who Chris Voss is?
I've heard of that name.
Yeah, me too.
Go look up some of his books. He teaches like the art of negotiations. He teaches labeling, matching, and what's the third one? Labeling, matching, and mirroring. Thank you.
Oh, he's the never split the difference guy.
Never split the difference guy. And you can actually get to the heart of, by doing those three techniques, labeling, matching, and mirroring, you can really get to the why pretty quick.
Well, I appreciate better. The second time. I think there's a chat. Jeffrey, look in the chat. There's another one somebody requested.
Yeah, Sherry. Well, Sherry's asking about, so on the buyer side, when you actually make the appointment, how are you addressing the high interest rates, high prices for interest rates? Are you offering 2-1 buy downs or other programs? How about current prices in the area? So she's kind of,
It's not really Sherry. She didn't change her name. Got
you. But yeah, so I think that goes back to our original objection, was kind of like people are on the fence about buying right now. And Sherry, you're on, or whoever that is, you're on point with, that's how I've been handling it. We have a lot of programs, and I like to try to get the lender involved and discuss like options to get right now. What a lot of people didn't realize, rates have dropped under 6%. And just the education part, when I had a person reach out to me, she saw my videos about 2-1 buy downs with my client and how we got them seller credits and all that. She reached out to me and said she wanted to know more about the mortgage programs. So I set a meeting with her, and it turned out she thought rates were still at 7%. She thought that there was no way she could afford a house. She thought the market was going to crash later. And once we started talking about our specific market in DC, and I just kind of addressed those things, she became open to the meeting. So now she's got the lender introduction, and we have a meeting scheduled for next Saturday. And it was addressing. So at that meeting, I've already kind of addressed it some on the phone and got her interested, but it's really lots of programs out there. So right now you can actually get a rate into the 3s with a buy down. And if you can get the seller to pay for it, it overcomes a lot of people's inhibition. But we also talk about average rates are now below the 30-year average. So those are the things that we're using in that meeting or in those conversations. You have any thoughts on that, Denny?
No, I think so. I think it's good. Let's we have time for a couple, at least 1 or 2 more. So does anybody have their hand up ready to go?
I saw Glow like laughing earlier. She seemed really into this. Glow, you want to give it a shot?
I can try. All right. Am I going to be on the buyer's end of it, or the trying to tackle it?
Well, Tanner raised his hand as well. So Tanner, why don't you jump on, and how about you decide, Tanner, whether Glow's going to be your buyer or the agent? I'll let Tanner decide for you, Glow.
Okay.
Doesn't matter, seller, buyer, whatever she feels comfortable with, that's fine.
All right. So how about Tanner? You be the agent, and Glow, you throw your objection at him.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
Somebody do something.
Am I starting it or you starting it?
Glo, you're going to start it with an objection you have. Is it a buyer objection or a seller objection? Whatever objection you.
It's going to be a buyer objection right now. So
okay, so throw him the objection, and then he's going to handle it using the model.
Okay. Well, you know, I'm just not comfortable right now with buying a home. You see, I've got 4 kids, and it's just really hard transitioning from, you know, school to school for them. And then it's also the money. I don't have anything saved for a down payment, so I'm not really sure, like, if I can afford the next home, if I do decide to move. So I just have a few different things going on right now.
Wow, you gave me everything in one shot.
Yeah. And my credit score dropped. You know, Christmas came and I spent money on credit cards I shouldn't have. So now I'm looking at lower 600s.
You only have 4 minutes. So Tanner, you're a pro.
Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't throw too much at him, Glo, because we have limited time here.
Let's start with the transition and the money only. You know, I guess. Okay, Glo, I understand you got concerned about the transition and the money. Other than that, like anything else? Quickly.
My credit score?
No.
Don't throw that in. No,
that's enough.
All right, down payment. I don't have enough money for a down payment on a home.
And the down payment. Okay. I got it. And Glo, let me ask you this. Ideally, what was the reason you would even think about something like this?
I ran out of space. Like, honestly, we don't have enough space in this home. So, you know, I had thought about moving so we can have the space that we need. But, you know, those things hit my mind and I just kind of got bummed out.
Wonderful. And how does your your husband and the kids feel about the whole thing? Are they on the same page about it?
I mean, ultimately, yeah, the kids, they want more space, but I mean, my pockets are hurting right now, so I can't do anything.
Cool. Wonderful. And Glo, currently, are you renting or you owning?
We own currently, yeah.
All right, wonderful. And now, in order for you to make this move, do you need to sell?
Oh no, I don't want to sell this home. My husband doesn't want to sell it either. So, I mean, that's pretty much where we're at.
So
can I just call time out a minute? I mean, I don't even know why we're talking. It doesn't sound like you're a buyer to me. So if you're going to be a buyer, you've got to be a real buyer.
If I want to buy, I need to buy another home. Yeah, I mean, I'm a buyer, but I'm a homeowner as well.
But it doesn't sound like you have no down payment. Your credit is not good. So I'm just thinking, okay, we don't have to go into a really long conversation if they don't qualify.
Yeah.
So are you waiting for a particular question? Because I just want to know, can you buy?
I mean, I can, but then with the terms, it's like, I don't know if it'll be enough because down payment, it would be the issue. And then my credit score, I'm not sure if I would get the best rate. So it's a lot of intricate pieces.
Well, I don't know. Jeff, you can take this anywhere you want. Listen, there's genies. There's a couple of rules when you find a genie in a bottle. You watch Aladdin. Genies cannot make people fall in love. They can't bring people back from the dead. Having conversations are the same way. There's a couple of things our conversations will not do. It won't make a buyer, a non-buyer a buyer, or a non-seller a seller. So, Jeff, help me out here.
All right. So my question to you, Glo, would be in this particular, because I get people like this. I get where you're coming from. You know, and so I understand what you're trying to do. You've probably run into some people that throw things, all that stuff at you. Hey, Glo, it sounds to me like there's a lot of things we have to figure out before you can decide if you'll be able to move forward buying a house. Is that right?
That is correct.
And you're really concerned about being able to afford it and your credit and making sure you have enough money down, right?
Most definitely.
So one of the things that I've found, I've had a lot of people in your same situation. What we found is sitting down and meeting with myself and our lender allows us to start that planning process to help you figure out if you can buy a house in the near future or maybe what actions we need to take to make this happen a little bit later down the road. Does that sound like something you'd be interested in doing?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so why don't we set up a time? I'll talk to my lender and we'll set up a time as next either Thursday evening or Saturday morning work for you?
Thursday works perfect.
Okay, so Thursday evening, I can do either 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. We can do it by Zoom. Which one is better for you?
Let's do 6 p.m. when my husband's home.
Okay, great. And we'll love to have them. So just kind of think about, your current situation and, and your current finances, so we can discuss that in a little more detail when we meet Thursday, and we'll put a plan into action so that you can start having all the information you need to know when and if and when and how you can buy a home. How's that sound?
It sounds great. Thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you on Thursday.
All right, perfect. So that's how I typically handle those type of buyers, because I feel like they need some education and we need to do some pre-planning. That's my approach. Thoughts?
If you were at the table, and most of our objection handling we handle on this call, you're at the table, you close for the appointment. Now what? Take a minute and give us a blanket how that conversation looks. I know it's a more than a minute conversation. Just give us a summary of it.
You mean now we're at the table conversation?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for me personally, I've brought the lender in. I'm going to try to have them meet with us, and we're going to discuss, we're going to educate on the home buying process. So here's the things that you typically need to do to purchase a home. It starts with finding out what your credit score is and how much your debt to income ratio is. And we talk about that briefly. Then I would go into, now for down payment, we have different programs depending on how you qualify. And I'd give a little brief overview of based on info I have of the programs. And I would have my lender step in and talk to them about a little bit about the programs that might meet their needs. And I would have the lender take over from there. I would just want to give them some initial education on the buying process and how the types of money and, the things that we need to address are credit, down payment, your budget, and your debt to income ratio, and then let the lender take over to see where we are and then continue from there.
Okay. How do you want to close it, Jeff?
That conversation. All right, Glow.
No.
So it looks like we have a good plan in place, and the lender has actually qualified you to purchase a home right now of $400,000 that you and your husband can buy. So the next step would be to go through the full buying process. Do you have time to do that now, or do you want to schedule a time to come back next week?
Let's schedule a time to come back next week.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll walk you through the entire process, everything you need to know to be well educated to go out and start looking at homes. And in the meantime, I'll start sending you some stuff based on the criteria you gave me, so you can start looking at some homes before we meet next time. How's that sound?
Perfect. Sounds great.
All right. And I would basically at that point get them signed. If they're not ready, then what I would do is I would say, it looks like we're 6 months to a year out. You've got some things to work on. So what we're going to do is we're going to keep in touch every month. I've got a home buying seminar coming up in February, and I want to make sure you and your husband both come to that. So let's get that on your calendar. And we're going to educate you and keep this conversation moving. So as soon as you're ready, we can go out and find that great house. How's that sound?
So we have 8 minutes. How do you want to end the program, Jeff?
Oh, I thought you wanted me to end my call with Glow. Sorry. So
no, that's okay. That's okay.
I would love to have somebody else throw an objection out, and I want someone that's willing to handle an objection, and someone throw an objection, and someone be the buyer or seller. So to start with, who would like to be the agent? I need one volunteer to be an agent.
Who's going to do it? I'll be an agent if no one else does. Somebody.
Sherry raised her hand.
This is Augustine.
Hey, Augustine. Sorry. Yeah, it's hard for me to keep track of everybody.
That's okay.
Right,
I know.
Augustine. So you want to be the agent?
I want to be the agent.
Okay. What objection do you want to handle?
Can we do an expired objection?
Absolutely. So you're calling on an expired listing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Who wants to be the seller with the expired listing? We need one volunteer to be the seller with an expired listing. And I see On. So On, you're the seller. Okay, so Augustine, just make the phone call.
Okay, ring.
Answer the phone, and you guys go for it.
Okay, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, I'm looking for the owner of 123 Main Street.
This is me.
Hi, is your name An?
Yeah.
Hi, An. This is Augustina Holtz, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Realty. And I noticed that your property came off the market in November.
Yeah, we don't want to sell anymore.
Well, what happened?
Well, it doesn't sell. It doesn't sell. Nothing moving. We tired of it. We move on.
I understand. Well, tell me more about why don't you think it's sold?
Well, you tell me. I think the market is not for it. Right now is not a good time to sell. They said interest rate went up and nobody buy.
Okay. Other than that, is there any other reason why you wouldn't want to put your house on the market now?
Well, it's also that we show so many houses, so many times, and it's all low ballers. They just want free meal. I don't want to deal with them anymore.
You say they wanted free
meals.
Free meals?
Yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, so you were your agent was serving food at your open houses?
No, people are just lowballing on our house. They want to get the house for free.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So other than you're getting lowball offers, what else is stopping you from putting the house on the market?
That is it. The market is bad and I don't get the offer.
Okay.
So we just stay here. Yeah.
So An, tell me, what was the reason? What was your plan for selling in the first place?
Well, we want to move to Costa Rica. A lot of Americans move there, so we think we retire, we can move there, but it seems like it doesn't sell, so we can just stay here.
So Costa Rica, that sounds really nice. What about Costa Rica was taking you there?
It has the beach, it has the jungle, it has good food for cheap price. Yeah.
So what was your time frame when you were thinking of moving out there?
Well, it's the end of this year or the end of last year, but it doesn't matter anymore. We passed that.
So when that didn't happen, how did that make you feel?
Ooh. A little bit disappointed.
Yeah. So knowing that, let me see. Okay, so if I was to show you how we could get your home sold, would that be something that would interest you? Would you still, in other words, if I were to bring a buyer basically in the next 30 days, would you be able to sell the house?
Well, it needs to be at the right price. I don't want lowballer, and I don't want to go through the hassle.
Okay, so it seems to me what you're saying is that it's the price is is important to you.
Yes.
Okay. So Anna, let's do this. I'd like to come and meet you, shake your hand, take a look at the property, and give you some information about what's going on. And if what I have to say to you makes sense to you, would you be interested in listing your house?
I don't think it's matter because right now the market is really bad. And looking at my house doesn't help change the market. I don't see the point.
Yeah. All right, so Augustina, you did a great job. You found the motivation. An definitely had a bad experience, so I might talk a little more about her past experience. Denny, you might have a different opinion, but I was thinking about, like, if we could show you our plan to make sure we got your home sold under your terms, And then I would focus back on the motivation. She was disappointed that they can't move to Costa Rica. So I would have added that back in when I went for that close. I think you went back to just looking at the house and the pricing, and I don't think she was excited or convinced that you were going to do anything different. So, so I think you did a great job of following the model and isolating and finding the motivation. I think at that point, from what I saw, was let's really key in on that motivation and how we can make this happen for her and get her to Costa Rica. Thoughts, Denny?
Yeah, I'm interested in Ryan's thoughts because he does a lot of that, or he has people that do a lot of that. I think that when we keep talking about wanting to list the house or getting people the numbers, that's logic.
So I'll give you some thoughts because I do have some on this. Because I've heard this before. You found her motivation, that was great. But what was keeping her from moving forward, listing her house? It wasn't motivation.
It was the price. She didn't want to have. She didn't want to.
Wasn't the price.
I don't think I asked enough questions to find that out.
You did.
Did I?
She gave up. She was done.
Yeah, she was disappointed. Yeah.
It was a disappointment. You could solve that in 3 words. Like if we were practicing that and she said, now's not a good time, homes aren't selling, I'd be like, yeah, I hear you. We have 21 in escrow right now. So homes are selling if you work with the right agent. And and you don't even have to go into it any deeper than that. You just have to lift that. You have to show that there is a path to selling your home.
Okay.
So I don't think you ever got past what was making her give up. She gave up on the market. She's like, I can't sell my house right now. Nobody's houses are selling. All you have to do is be like, no, there's homes selling even in this market, and we're selling a lot of them. And then you would isolate like we normally do everything that Denny teaches, and then just move right into setting the appointment.
Yeah, that's a great point, Ryan. I think I was trying to touch on that a little bit, but you nailed it. Was she was frustrated and it felt like the experience didn't work, and she needs an agent that's going to show her the path to success.
Well, she felt like it was the market, not her agent. She felt like the whole thing was just.
I wanted to ask her, like, what about the market do you think is bad? To get her to keep.
And just me, and this is my style. Denny might change this, but that's a great question. I'd say, what about the market makes you think it's bad? Because we're selling tons of homes right now.
Yeah, I like that second part.
Well, I don't know what your 3 words are. I'd like to hear that because you said something was more than 3 words. However, isn't the bottom line is, if you could, would you? Isn't that where you want to take it, Ryan?
Yeah, if you could, would you?
If you
not
could,
even if you could, but we're doing it. So
I got that. Yeah. Well, that's 5 words. Huh.
Yeah. Thank you, Ryan.
Thank you.
I actually got into this situation in real life, and I don't know how to handle it. And thank you very much for showing me.
Well, Jeff, you're a great host. Thank you for not only pitch hitting, but actually, being a leadoff hitter. And
thank you. Yeah, and it was a pleasure, and I'm glad that you made it home or somewhere. You got somewhere during this 1 hour call.
There's my bourbon bar, so I'm home.
Oh, you already have your bourbon bar after all that hard time you were giving them.
I know. It's all right. Ryan can take it.
All right. Hey, Denny, real quick on your daily 9:30 East Coast. So you figure out the rest of it. 9:30 East Coast, that call in partnership with MAPS Coaching, that's a half-hour call Monday through Friday.
Yep, Monday through Friday. Won't be on Monday because of MLK
because of the holiday.
However, I'm going to send out, if you are getting this link, I'm going to send out an email with the Zoom link that you can participate whatever days you can, and we're going to continue this process, because really, if you don't want to be the hunted, we want to help you be the hunter.
That's fantastic. And daily practice is where you start making real change in your business.
That's right.
Thank you, Denny. Appreciate it. Hey, thanks, Ryan, for all your input, and everybody for participating. Glow, I'll look forward to getting you in that new home by the end of the year. And you guys have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your holiday weekend. Hopefully you've got some business.
All right. Thank you. Be careful out there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.